I would like to divide this topic into terms. In terms of senior housing policy, I think it's important to promote a wide range of housing forms in terms of senior, like a co-housing, but also multi-generation, like a multi-generational house, so that everyone can find something for themselves. I think that a senior housing offer should be directed to people with various level of psychophysical fitness, from lifetime housing to care or other forms of support. But in terms of architectural scale, I think it is important to design housing in accordance with the standards of universal design. So the example are concepts in UK, so the lifetime homes, but also in Netherlands, it's apartments for life. I think that it's important also to design flexible arrangements, for example, the possibility of separating an additional room as a bedroom for the caregivers if necessary. But we can't forget that the most important is to design a place to live with the therapeutic environment, without stigmatization, with the possibility of adjusting the interior design to the lifestyle and preferences. And it's crucial to individualize these places as much as possible. I think that absolutely, if we live in an apartment adapted to our needs at every stage of life, we will be independent longer, and use the need to move to a care home maybe not a necessity. So interesting is the fact that in some countries, such as Denmark, in 1988, the building retirement homes was banned. So they are focused on other forms of support. An important element is a flat or a house that is properly adapted to the human life cycle, gives flexibility of arrangement, cheap to maintain, using modern technologies, as for example in health monitoring or remote care, special sensors installed in the floor to detect falls. All of this can provide support if needed. So this approach will also guarantee lower costs of social and medical care in the country, and I think it's the big challenge for all of us. I think that more and more is starting to happen in senior housing policy in Europe. There are many examples that can be inspiring. I think that all co-housing are an approach to creating forms of housing for senior, providing autonomy, and at the same time giving the opportunity to spend time together. So that the elderly don't feel lonely, as is usually the case in retirement homes. A good example is the first experimental project of senior co-housing for elderly women at High Barnet in London, or the entire government program of building multi-generational house in various lands of Germany, Mehrgenerationen House. In Poland, we have also an examples of multi-generational house, such as house in Łódź, in an adapted building, in which the Foundation Laboratory of Architecture 60+, which I represented, was participated. And an example of a newly designed multi-generational house in Wrocław, in Nowe Żarniki, is the example of the modern architectural trends. I think that the Netherlands for sure has a lot to say in this regards, as it has many models of dynamic development taking into account the needs of the elderly, such as Humanitas, where the elderly lives with students in one building, and many other models. I think that absolutely, even the terms of the demand for senior housing, obviously related to financing, housing policy, programs, and opening developers to this market as well. So we can distinguish three types of such European countries where the potential for development is high, like Germany or the Netherlands, medium like Great Britain, and low like Poland or Czech Republic. So we can observe this also in the level of advance in senior housing market. First of all, a change in the way of thinking about senior housing. From the perspective of my experience and action projects implemented in the Lab 60 Plus Foundation, we taken action to support senior housing, and we observed that the needs of the elderly are often stereotypically defined, that they are not very modern, not susceptible to changes, with no aspiration. So in addition, I would advise municipalities and countries to treat senior housing as a priority in taking action, including systemic measures, because the fact that the one multi-generational house will be built does not solve the problem, as well as the deliberate decision regarding the implementation of forms of residence. The trend of designing 60-plus housing estate currently dominates in Poland. So which is not a good direction, because we stigmatizing the urban space.